Just bear with me a second, just trying to find this. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. How are we all? Hope you're all okay out there. Thank you for joining me. Hey sis, how you doing? For anyone watching tomorrow, it is a live. I'm not going crazy. I'm not talking to myself. It is a live. But I'd like to know why you're not here with us. But if you do want to, just forward straight to the story because I have a little natter for the first couple of minutes. That's fine. Probably have a look from about 5 minutes. But yeah, or if you want to stay and watch me faffing, you're more than welcome to do that too. How are we? How you doing, sis? Sis, while it's quiet, is Mitzi okay to come tomorrow? I'll ask you out on the live straight away. Just put you in that position. It's okay. You can message me afterwards if you want. Hey Kelly, how we doing? Hey Sharon. Oh yay, are you sure, sis? Excellent. How are we all there? How are we? So all really hot again. I've got to get. Did you know? I can't every time, and I think it might be just from my head knowing I'm about to start a live, and it all just starts, and I can't leave the back door open because it will just get really cold. So, and I've done my hair, and it's just going to all go greasy again. But anyway, how are we all? Are we all okay? Are we looking forward to the weekend? We got any plans for Easter? Hey, how you doing, Charlotte? Happy Thursday, happy Easter, happy Jess Rose Day. Hey, Phil, how's it going? How are we all? Are we all excited for the weekend, for our long weekend? I am, because I'm off to see our moderator this weekend for Easter, which I'm very excited about. It feels like it's been ages since I've seen her. I think that's what it is, Sharon. It's just crazy. I don't know what I think I'm doing with my phone. Look at this. I've got I think I showed you on the other live. I've got a brilliant fan, but it's so noisy. I can't have it on the live. But why is it here? Have any of you noticed my subscribers? Have you seen? I think about 2 hours ago, I had 905. And the last I looked, I've got like 973. How unbelievable. We have to thank Sharon for that too. I'm so excited. I can't believe where we've got to. Okay, all right, I'll calm down now. But I'm so excited. I'm so happy about it. I can't believe it. Oh, right, I'm going to calm down in a second. Okay, this story, okay, I don't know if you know it. Well, I was going to fringe issue. Thanks, Kelly. Yes, the fringe issue. There's all a lot going on. Right, okay, I'm going to stop this now. I don't know if you know this story. All right. Now, I have got what's the word I'm looking for? I've got a confession. I've done this one before. Okay, I've done it about 4 years ago. And I've always kept an eye on it. Hi, Warwick, how you doing? How's it going? I was just saying that I'd done it about 4 years ago, and I noticed that there was a couple of updates on it, and it's one that it just, with those stories that you find hard to forget for whatever reason. I'm sure that some that you would find like, oh, that are just the worst in the world. I wouldn't. And then some that I think are just terrible and that just stay in my mind. You'd be like, what's the matter with you? So it's stories that just get you. And this was one for me. This is one that got me. It's exactly what I call it. It's brutal. It's an awful story. It's not major update. It was just something I'd seen, and I was a bit annoyed about it, if I'm honest. But I can also understand why. Do you know what? Do you know what? We'll get to the story and then we can have a discussion about it. Okay, so like I say, the brutal Angela Wrightson story. As I've said, I did do it 4 years ago. I think it would have been. I think I did it in 2019. It obviously just hasn't clicked over to the 5 years yet, but it just devastated me. This one did. It genuinely did. So let's get started. If we're all happy to get started, let's go. Okay, so Angela is Angela Marjorie Wrightson. Okay, she's known as Angie. She was born. Her early life is very, very sketchy. Don't know a lot about it at all. She was born in around 1974, possibly 1975, in Darlington. It's a UK crime. Okay. Now, apparently she had 8 siblings. All of them were in care, including Angela, separated. And just a really, really sad, yes, it is, Kelly. Just a really, really sad, sad start to life and just a continuation of that. It was like she just couldn't break the cycle. A very, very sad case. Very slight woman. Looked much older than she actually it was. Said it was to the drink, and obviously she wouldn't have been eating right and everything else. But yeah, just a very, very, she's small, short anyway, but very slight woman. Now she'd started drinking from a really early age, Angie had. It said that she had, as she'd gone into her teenage years and then into her 20s, it was said that she had been offered rehab. There was help out there for her. She just chose not to accept it. Whether she wasn't ready for it or she just didn't want it, I don't know. But for whatever reason, she chose not to accept the help that was being offered. Apparently she'd gone to rehab, but only lasted something like 24 hours and discharged herself. She just wasn't ready. From what I've heard, she just wasn't ready to make a change in her life. It was all she'd ever known. But it said that she was a very sweet lady. With regards to alcohol, she could turn. She was known to turn. She was known to get a little bit aggressive, but more with herself rather than other people. But sober, she was supposed to be a really nice woman, quite quiet, but not not overly aggressive without drink, if you get what I mean. She just said that it's really hard. It's very sketchy, her early years previous to this. Now, what I do know is that she moved to Hartlepool around 2011. Okay. And she moved there with a boyfriend, and it was supposed to be this fresh start for her. And they moved to a place called Stephen Street. And like I say, yeah, it was just supposed to be this fresh start with a new partner. And it wasn't meant to be because they were still drinking. And he ended up dying very soon after they moved there, very soon. So now, once again, she was 36 when they moved to Hartlepool. And yeah, that when they, oh God. Sorry. You know what to do. Yes, so she was wow. Say, Ariane, you gotta stop. You've got to stop. I can't. I'm not having this. I'm not having it. I'm not on a live. If you want to come on after, if you want to talk to me, that's fine, but not when I'm on a live. I'm not having it, okay? If you want to come on and you want to join in, like you did, I'm fine with that. But just to come on to roll people up again, I'm not having it, Ariane. I'm just not. So that's the last I'm saying about it. All right. Okay. So she was about 36. She's about 36 when her boyfriend had passed. Sorry for anyone watching tomorrow. Please ignore that. And I'm going to continue now. So apologies for that. And with him dying and with her being in the grieving process, the alcohol intake got worse, a lot worse for Angie. It got to the point where she'd be lying in the road, you know, and in the morning, noon, and night, you know, she'd rear up on people, you know, she'd get a little bit aggressive. But one thing that was happening, she started to, once her partner had died, she started to open up a house to basically anyone and everyone, in the sense of who drank like her, who she was like-minded. You know, they'd sit in a house and they'd drink morning, noon, and night. They would have music blasting, to the point where her house started to become the place where teenagers would start to hang out as well. Now, I don't know about everyone watching, but we had at least a couple of those houses growing up that not us personally, I mean, houses that you knew that this would go on, and it was always, I've got to admit, normally it was men, it wasn't normally women, but there'd always be some weird random guy who always had teenagers running in and out. It was always very odd. It was very odd, but there was always one of those houses at some point, and Angie's became that house. That's that. Now, it was said that she was very house proud. She kept her home as clean and tidy as she could. Unfortunately, because she was drinking so much, it was said as time went on, she was drinking up to 9 litres of cider a day. That's a lot of alcohol. And cider as well. It's a lot of alcohol, strong alcohol. So what she would do, she would have the teenagers coming into the house, and as we know, teenagers, you can't get served for cigarettes and alcohol. So she used to go and get the cigarettes and the alcohol for the young ones that would come into the house. They'd give her the money, and for the most part, it was kind of, I suppose it was a mutual advantage for both of them. She got company, and also they'd give her a bit extra and she'd get some of her own drink out of it. And they had somewhere to go and someone who was buying their drink and their cigarettes for them, and, you know, anything else they might want. This was the setup that was Angela Wrightson's life at this period of time. Okay. She'd had, and they said they don't know if it was from when she was in the care system and all the way through, or it was in her adult life, but she had up to about 47 criminal convictions against her. Not bad for bad things, but, you know, it was like an houseboy. It was for drunken disorderly, things like that. Now, when we come up to 2014, because that's where we're going to come to now, Angie, she weighed 6 stone. Now, remember I said she was tiny, but she was really tiny now. She obviously wasn't eating very well. She's drinking 9 bottles of cider, 9-litre bottles of cider a day. She's not eating. So she's a very slow woman. And there's pictures of her all online. If you bear with me until I've explained a bit more of the story before you go away and look, because you'll see some other pictures on there that you might want a bit of a heads up on. But she does look a lot older than her years. Like I say, now she's 39. And we come up to the 8th of December 2014. Okay, that's where we are. Right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, it's just so sad. Right. Two of the girls that would frequent Angie's house, I can't give you their names because the names have never been released. They're not allowed to be released. So for the story, and I did see in the newspaper reports as well, it was girl A and girl B. That's all I can do. That's all I can give you. Girl A was 13 and girl B was 14. Now, girl A, you know, when you get an image of somebody and you hear more about them and you get like this, just this idea of who they are. Girl A, the younger of the two, seemed that she had a bit of a rough upbringing. She did. She was in care, but nothing terrible from what I've seen, from what I've read, from what I've heard. But her herself, she was vile, a vile little girl. Girl B, the 14-year-old, now she had a much rougher upbringing. She did. A mum had given her a black eye not long before this had happened. A mum had told her, you know, she didn't want her. She was in care too. And that's where these two met each other. So they were just a bad storm waiting to meet. And it was just, oh God, you just wish these girls had never come into contact with each other. They were both known to the police. They were both already heavy drinkers at this age. And it was whatever they could get their hands on, prescription drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever they could get hold of. It was for a good time. Now, they had started going round to Angie's like a bit before this. And, you know, they'd get her to buy them alcohol and cigarettes and everything else. And earlier on the 8th of December, girl B had been round to her family home, and apparently that's where she'd robbed the prescription drugs from. And her mum had also told her to go and kill herself. You know, lovely. And she ended up going off on her own and drinking and taking these tablets. Girl A was off during the day doing her own thing. And later on, in the early evening, they met up. And of course, their great idea was they had some money. They were like, let's go round to Angie's and we'll get her to go shop for us. So they do. They go round to Angela's and it's just them two there. Now, like I say, and Angela was, it was an open house, basically, for all the waifs and strays to come into. Her neighbours and the people on the street always, you know, if you watch any interviews with them, always say, nice woman, but she was just, they didn't appreciate that it was her house on their street. The house she lived in was, you know, where there's no front garden, it's just a front door straight onto the street. It was one of those streets and terraced houses, so everyone's basically on top of each other. So if you've got a neighbour that's got kids running in and out all times of day and night and drunken arguments and music and everything else, I could imagine she probably wasn't great to live next to. Not about her as such, even though she was allowing this to go on. it was just the whole situation, you know, it wouldn't have been ideal, I'll say that. So they've gone round there, and when they've gone round, Angie's on her own. Now, a couple of hours beforehand, Angie's landlord had been round, a man by the name of John Magason, I think, Magason. And they'd had a big argument, and she'd been throwing her keys at him within this argument that they'd had. She wasn't paying her rent. She was drinking all her rent. She was, you know, it was just all a bit of an argument over things like that. She was trying to keep the house nice, but of course, you know, she's got people coming and going. He's getting complaints from neighbours and stuff, so he's back round there again. And she throws the keys at him, and for the last time, he grabs them, and he's like, I'll give you these back tomorrow. And he leaves. Now, when I originally done this story 4 years ago, I wasn't aware of that. It's something I've recently found out, that he'd actually took her keys that day. All right, I'll explain why that made a difference. Well, not that it made a difference, but it could have made a difference. I don't know. But it was a question I asked at the time. Okay, so this is the situation, right? We're at the 8th of December 2014. We are up to 7:30 on that evening. And Girl A and Girl B have come round to Angie's, and they've given us some money, go to the shop for us. And she goes, and there's a lot of CCTV footage in this case, and that's what I'm saying. Let me tell you the story before you go away and look for it, because you might see some things you might not want to see. I don't know. And on the CCTV footage, or the camera footage of the shop, you can see Angie, and she's buying cider, she's buying cigarettes, and she's buying sweets. Do you know why? Because they were kids. And she's buying them some sweets, all right? And there's nothing on her face at that moment in time. That's about 7:30. There's no injuries to Angie whatsoever at that point, all right? But then we get to about 9 p.m. I've heard 8 p.m. and I've heard 9 p.m. Okay, so it's between those two times. But there's some Snapchats, which is why this is also called the Snapchat killers as well, all right? There's some Snapchats put up, and the worst thing is when you view them, because this is what you can go away and look at, Girl A and Girl B are blurred. They're blurred on these Snapchats, and all there is on there is writing that says nah and some kisses. N-A-H. I don't know what, teenagers. That. But in the background, you can see Angie. And at this point, so we're only talking possibly an hour after she's got back from the shop, there's already injuries to her head. There's like a lump here. You can see sort of a lump here. She just doesn't look happy at all, obviously. It's a very, very, very sad photo when you know what was happening. It's a very sad photo. But this was uploaded onto Snapchat. All right. So what's going on? The two girls decide that they want to destroy Angela. I don't know why. No one knows why. They just wanted to destroy this woman. And that's what they did with anything they could get their hands on. Anything to hand. Now, again, there's different reports, but what I've seen is that Girl A, the 13-year-old, she was the one who was on Facebook and she's on Snapchat. She's the one who was taking pictures. But she was the one who was basically giving instructions to Girl B. That's for the most part, not for the entirety, but for the most part, there's actually a phone call where she was phoning some of her friends, and the friend actually said she could hear this banging in the background and this shouting. And girl A must have been talking to girl B, going, Brayer, Brayer. Now, I've never heard of that term, but I'm assuming it's killer, batterer, and it's Bray. I've never heard of that term. It's obviously a regional term, but that's what she was saying. And, oh, God. Right, so they're beating this woman, black and blue, at this point, right? And about 11 p.m, they leave. They go. Sorry, I've jumped the gun. Just before 11 p.m, they hear the door open, right? And it was two more of Angie's friends. I'm doing this because did she have actual real friends? I don't know. I don't know if she had people that would actually, you'd call friends. Are they acquaintances? Are they just drinking buddies? Don't know. But two of them open the door. The girls hide. Angie herself is in that room somewhere. She's in that living room somewhere at that point. But those two friends said they opened the door. Remember, I said that the door just opened straight from the street. So they open the door, look in, and the room's destroyed. They said they didn't know, had she been burgled, had a fight kicked off. They didn't know. All they know is they couldn't see anyone at that time. So they literally just closed the door and left. And it's just, oh God. And she was in there somewhere, and the girls were in there. So just after that then, so about 11 p.m, they leave, the girls do, and they go around to one of their pals' houses. Now, when they get to their friend's house, the two of them have got blood on them, more girl B than girl A. And they've got blood on their trousers, on their hands, on their face. And they're like, no, don't worry, it's not us. It's not us. And they're like, well, what happened? And they're like, oh, you know. And then the one goes, oh, no, it is us. We fell over. Real childlike responses, this is. And them leaving, coming and going from Stephen Street, you can see on CCTV. You can't see their faces, everything's blurred, but you see them coming and going from the house, okay? Then they spend a couple of hours at their friend's house, and then they go back. They go back to Angie's at about 2 a.m, right? And they go in, and they start again on her. And they don't stop. They don't stop beating this woman. Now, I'm going to tell you what they did to her. But they eventually leave at 4 a.m, okay? And do you want to know what they do? The audacity is crazy. They walk a bit up from Angie's and they phone the police, because this is the habit they've got into. Remember I said they're in care? So when I believe you're in care, you have to be in at a certain time. You've got a curfew. So the care home already has realised they're not back. It's 4 o'clock in the morning now. And they're like, I know what we'll do. We'll phone the police for a lift home. They use the police as their taxi service. This is what they do. It's not unusual. This is what they do. But they made sure they moved up a little bit from Angie's and then phoned the police to get a lift home. Okay, so if you work it out, this has been going on for 7 hours on this night. 7 hours from beginning to end, right? There's a Snapchat again of them in the police car laughing and joking. and it just says in the busy van again, like written, you know, you can write over a picture or whatever. In the busy van again. Now you can hear the phone call when they phone the police, and the voice is it's altered, so it sounds like a deeper voice. And oh my God, these girls, they were just like laughing. They were like, I've reported me and my friend missing. How long are you going to be? Because I'm freezing. And they were laughing and they were joking. And when I tell you what they did in that house, remember what I'm saying now? They were laughing and they were joking and they were having a whale of a time. They were taking the mick out of the 999 operator. And she was like, the operator was saying, look, what are you laughing at? What's the matter with you? And she was like, I'm laughing at you. You're a bit funny. But how long are they going to be? Because we're cold here. This was their attitude, right? So eventually the police turn up. Like I say, they get in. She takes a little picture for the Snapchat archive. And they're taken back to their care homes, their respective care homes, all right? So now we get to the next morning. So it would be the 9th of December 2014. And Angie's landlord comes back. Do you remember I says he left the day before? She'd thrown her keys at him umpteen times, so he took them. I think she was thrown at it in temper, maybe. He's took them. So he comes back the next morning. And he walks into utter devastation. The house is destroyed. The living room's destroyed. And he starts to notice there's blood everywhere. There's blood spatter up the walls. Blood handprints on the ceiling, on the walls. And then he starts to notice there's objects with blood on them. And he's looking, and then he looks in the corner, and there's Angie. Naked from the waist down. Dead. In the corner, on the corner of a sofa. And of course he phones the ambulance straight away. He's devastated. You know, he doesn't know what's gone on at all. And they find out what these girls had actually done to her in those hours, right? In the first couple of hours, Angie had 100+ injuries to her body. And 80 of them were to her head. And how do you injure someone 80 times to their head? It's only so... How? They'd used, and this is why I said to hang on before you go away and look, because there is pictures of these things, these items that they used. There's a wood stick with screws in it. She was beaten with that. She was beaten with the coffee table. She was beaten with the TV set. Now you have a look. It's although excuse me, although it's 2014, it's quite an old, small, portable TV set. Just blood all over it. She was beaten with a shovel, a metal shovel. Just blood and blood spatter all down it. These girls were 13 and 14 years old. They also found, okay, so it was said that would have been the beginning. And do you remember I said they left and they come back? Well, when they come back, they said they don't know. I think with regards to the neighbours, I think given the fact that there was always so much noise in the house and there was always arguing and music and fighting and everything else, I don't know if that's why the neighbours just didn't notice. I don't know. So when the girls came back, they don't know if Angie, had took her own bottoms off, because it was said that she would have been possibly incontinent by that point. I don't know. And she might have took her own and wearing trousers off, right? They don't know if it was her or the girls. But when they came in, they got some gravel from outside to rub in to her private parts. Vile, vile girls, vile. There was like a mirror that had been smashed into her face. And do you want to know what really got me? Now, I've just told you all of that. Right? I've just said all of that. But what really got me when I heard about this case was that while she was lying there, dying, because they said that when they went back at 2 o'clock, they'd gone back not to see if she was okay, to make sure she was dead. That's what they'd gone back there for. That's why they went back. And while she was lay there, either dead or dying, there was ash found in her ear. So they were flicking cigarette ash into her ear while she was dying. I don't know. I don't know why that bit gets me so much. It's just the utter, just, what kind of hatred do you have in you to be sitting next to a woman? Okay, let's say they'd got themselves really rolled up in the first couple of hours and then they left. When they come back and are met with the destruction they'd left, you would imagine that why wasn't there a part of them that was like, oh, what have we done? They just carried on. Not only carried on, they went even more twisted, even more sinister with what they were doing to her. Just this, she was 6 stone. She was tiny. She was harmless. And they just destroyed her. Just desecrated her body for nothing. For absolutely nothing. For a night of kicks. That was it. A night of kicks. That's all they got out of it. Just awful, awful case. Well, of course, the girls go back to their care home. And there's blood spotted on their clothing that night. But they sort of passed it off. They were always doing this kind of thing. So the care home were like, go to bed kind of thing. After the landlord had been in the house and called the ambulance, called the police and everything else, these girls were very interested as to what had happened to Angie. And they were asking, you know what the perpetrators tend to do in these cases. They're always around, aren't they? Can I help? Anything I can do? And they just wanted to know what the police know, how, what's going on with the case. Just vile. I have to keep on reminding myself that these girls were 13 and 14. They smashed a mirror into this woman's face. I mean, why was there bloody handprints on the ceiling? What were they doing? It said she did have some defensive marks on her. So she was trying to protect herself, but what could she do? And then there was another thing that came to me while I was doing this story originally, when I originally done it. My question was, they'd been gone for 3 hours. They left at 11. They came back at 2. So that was 3 hours. And part of me was like, it said that she wouldn't have been dead then. And they said she wasn't. So in my head back then, I was like, why didn't she lock the door? Why didn't she? Whatever state she was in, why couldn't she get to the door and lock it so they couldn't just walk back in after? And it's only now I've found out that the landlord had took the keys. Now, I don't mean that anything against the landlord one way or another. I don't. I think it's a bit irresponsible to take someone's keys as a safety issue. But I don't know what the situation was that he kept on walking into. I don't know if he maybe thought these were all friends. He took the keys anyway. Was there even another set of keys? I don't know, because it said he came back the next morning to return her keys to her. So that was one thing that played on my mind. It was like, why didn't she lock the door? Why couldn't she? Even if she had to crawl, these weren't big houses. These weren't big rooms. So that was something that played on my mind. So the girls, like I say, are asking questions. They're making it very obvious. The care home finds out what happened to Angie. Know that the girls frequented the place. Remember the blood that they had on their clothes. And they reported them to the police, quite rightly so. The police came, arrested them both, charged them both because there's all the Snapchat pictures on their phones. Oh my God. I mean, isn't it that the pictures last for like 24 hours, but I think they were picked up the next day. So, absolute idiots. So it was all there. So they were banged to rights. So when they come to the trial, girl A, do you remember the 13-year-old? Now, I could be really wrong, and it is my own opinion to a degree, but the 13-year-old seemed to me to be the puppet master of this, because she, although the pathology said that given the blood spatter, given the injuries and everything else, that they both must have been involved, at certain times, for the most part, it was girl B. And hearing that it was girl A going, yeah, basically batter her while she's on the phone to her friends and instructing this older, bigger girl to do her bidding, she was the one that I was like, oh, they're both, I'm just saying. So girl A, anyway, she decides to say, look, all right, I was there, but I didn't see it happening. I didn't see this happening. I was on my phone. I didn't know that was going on. Girl B, her excuses were, now she didn't deny it, but she says it was manslaughter on kind of a diminished grounds type malarkey. Basically because of how she'd been in the care system and her rough upbringing, and she'd been on drugs and everything else, and it affected her mind. Every excuse you can think of. There was also some pictures that she drew. Again, if you go online, you can see these pictures. Very, very, very childish pictures of someone being stabbed. And she says, how did she word it? She says, I thought the only way someone could die, could actually die, is from cancer or from, I think it was a gun or something. It's something very childlike and very stupid. She basically says that she did do what she did, but she didn't believe she could kill her. She didn't believe she would die from the injuries. That was her excuse. So that's what I mean. She seemed to come at it from a very childish, immature standpoint, whereas girl A, I could be wrong. I could have them both very different. They could have been exactly the same. It's just the impression I get from the research I've done. Girl A just struck me as the puppet master that didn't really get her hands dirty. And then after the fact, she's like, weren't me. I didn't do it. I was there, but I didn't do it. I didn't say anything. That's what it came across to me as. She seemed quite manipulative. Again, we don't know, and we won't know. And this is why I've done the story again. Because when we got to the first trial, okay, the press were feral. They wanted these girls on a stick, basically. They wanted their details. They wanted to know where they lived. They wanted everything. They wanted everything released, right? So the original trial, the jury had to be discharged because it was said that they wouldn't have got a fair trial because of and you see the newspaper reports from when it happened, and oh, the venom being spat at these girls, quite rightly so. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. It was vicious, right? So we have trial number 2 that was done on the 6th of April 2016. Okay. And this was in Leeds County Court, I think it's called. They were both found guilty. And they both got life with a minimum of 15 years, which is just sickening to me, really. I know they're young. I get it. I get it. Rehabilitation and blah, blah, blah. I get it. I get that. But I'm not being dismissive of rehabilitation. I'm not, but I'm just saying, if they were capable of of doing that, and not in a, not like a crime, I know it's not crime of passion, but not in a split second decision, and it wasn't like a one kill punch type of situation. It was 7 hours where they left the house and they came back to see if she was dead. Not to see if she was alive, to see if they'd done the job. So in my mind, it's like, if they are capable of doing that at 13 and 14, what are they going to be capable of in 15 years' time when they're 28 and 29? Because that's still young. And I said it on the original, it's just, they're still going to be young. They could even still go on and have children if they get out when they're after the 15 years. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying that, that's when they can go for parole. Now, the reason for the whole story I've been calling them Girl A and Girl B is the judge in the original trial and the second trial had withheld their names, withheld their details. When we got to 2020, remember I says, when we got to 2020, and I'd been looking at this because I wanted to monitor it. The anonymity order was still upheld, and it's been upheld forever. So once they're released, they will be given new identities. They could be living next door to you and you'd never know. These animals. And it said that girl A, still being vile. Remember I says the younger one? They were still being vile, attacking staff in prison. She's just rotten to the core. The girl B, still, it said she's still very childlike. Remember I said the picture, she didn't think that someone could die with what they'd done to Angie. It said that she's still very childlike, and the reason they've decided to give them lifelong anonymity, which is called the Venables jurisdiction, after Thompson and Venables, the James Bulger case. It's said more. It said it's more for the girls' protection, not from other people as such, which I think that's a good reason, but from protection from themselves, because they're both very handy with trying to kill themselves. I think that's what it is. So yes, the anonymity order is upheld now forever. So we'll never know who these girls are. We'll never know if they're, if they're living next door or their kids are going to kids school. Your kids are going to. It's horrible to think of. It's awful to think of that these rotten little gets this case just it's just sickening. It's just a sickening story, and I think it always makes it worse when it's children. That it's always hard to do a child victim case. That's always really hard to do, but it's always hard as well when the child is the perpetrator as well, because you just see kids as being quite innocent. Don't get me wrong, we all know teenagers can be, they can be the cruelest people. Kids, it's said that there's a saying for a reason. Kids can be the cruelest people on the planet, verbally, but and they do fight in school and things like that. But things like this, oh no, no. And it's them going back. And the ash in her ear. Oh, that bit. I think the reason that bit bothered me so much is that wasn't in, that to me wouldn't strike me as being in temper with the shovel, with the TV. That was all temper and strength and everything else. That was just a dismissal. That's just this is what we think of you. That's why I think it got me and upset me, that bit did, because it was like, you had utter just hatred for this woman for no reason. She did nothing to you other than be kind. And should she have been going out and getting alcohol and cigarettes for the kids around the area? No, she shouldn't have been. But we all know someone who's done it, and we all, I don't think kids smoke as much as cigarettes these days, the young ones, teenagers, they tend to be more vaping now. But certainly when I was younger, I stand outside a shop, can you grab some cigarettes? Or, it was just a thing. And it wasn't as looked down upon as it would be now. I mean, but that was when I was a kid. This is only 24, well, I suppose 10 years ago. Still, though, it doesn't seem that long ago. And, she was doing this for them. And like I say, should she have been doing it? No. I'm rambling now. No, she shouldn't have been doing it. But okay, that's what, is that, all right, so she made bad life choices. She made bad decisions. She didn't deserve any of that. She didn't deserve anything that happened to her. I just think it was just a really sad case that just didn't need to happen. It didn't. It's just a very, very, very sad story. And that was the brutal Angela Wrightson story. Ugh. Is everyone okay? It's just horrible, isn't it? It was just awful. I just gives me such a horrible. She just wanted to feel. Is that wanted? I think she wanted. Yeah, I think she. Yeah, I think she wanted to fit in. With the kids. I think she used to. It was said that she'd call the kids schoolies. That was the name she used to call them, and yeah, I think she just wanted. Maybe she thought she was the cooler, older friend. Maybe, I don't know. From the sounds of it, maybe the neighbours didn't really want to know her because of the alcohol for drinking, being loud. And then when she's got all the kids coming and going out of her house and stuff, I think maybe it was just, maybe she just thought they they wanted to be her friend. Maybe that's what it was. And she thought by buying them this alcohol and whatever they wanted. And it's just, she's buying them sweets as well. Look, that it just shows that, look, they're kids. They were kids. Very, very, very sad. Really sad. And it just seems like she just, it's a shame that she just couldn't, yeah, I think that's what it was. They dehumanized her. That's the ash. That's what did that for me. Just everything else was like, it was sinister, and that sinister's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? It was just evil, but the ash was just, it just took it to that neck. She no longer, you're right, dehumanized. She was no longer a person to them. She wasn't anything to them anymore. She was just there to be just discarded. Just very, very, very sad. Sad end to her life. And I don't know what will become. Oh, Phil, did you have a little bit of an outburst? Did you have a bit of an outburst, matey? Do you know, I had to speak up. Thank you, Tiffany, for nipping that in the bud. It caught me completely off guard. I was about to go into my flow and completely off guard. Do you know what it was? Do you know, right, do you remember me saying on Tuesday's live that she'd been putting comments up on the main page after the story? Remember I said she'd been putting something up and I was deleting it. She kept putting it up. That's what she'd put up, them song lyrics. That's what she was putting up on there. And I was deleting them. She's got a load of other profiles. She's got loads, Sharon. I've seen a couple. What she wrote on the on my actual in the comment section, I didn't recognise it. It wasn't as what she call us, a curious mind. Because she's not going to let her say, she won't be ignored. Warwick, I think that's the whole point. She's not going to be ignored. She's not going to stop. And she's going to keep biting at people until someone bites back. I think that's what she wants. So I think just the best thing is just, I think just the best thing is what Tiff's done tonight. And it's just made for a bit more peaceful live, to be honest. But yeah, that's what she'd been writing. It was those song lyrics she'd been putting up the other day. So had she just put something else, it possibly wouldn't have put me off. But when I seen the song lyrics, absolutely threw me off. Completely threw me off. I can see Charlotte's been here. I don't agree either, Charlotte. They shouldn't. I don't think they should have new identities at all. I don't agree with it. I've gone so close to the camera. Look, I'm all sweating again. Beginning and end every time. Oh, yes, please, Sharon. I know, Warwick. I will ignore it. I will. It's just, really caught me off guard. Really caught me off guard because we've had a couple of quiet lives, haven't we? So I wasn't expecting it. She really did catch me off guard. So, but there we go. There we go. We live and learn. So, what's everyone up to for Easter? Are we doing anything nice? Like I say, I'm going to see our favourite moderator at the weekend. That's what I'm doing. Yes, so, what I wanted to let you all know is I won't be here next week, but I will be back. No, you did. You done well, sis. You did well. You were in there. I will be back so I don't even know my dates. What's the Tuesday after next? Can anyone say? Will we tell them? Yes, please, Sharon. Go on then. I haven't told anybody. Shall I tell them? Shall I tell them? Shall I tell them? Let me know if I should tell them, and I'll say it on here. I'll say it on here. Oh wow, Kelly, congratulations. Oh, how lovely. I love turkey. Big fan of turkey. Okay, so Sharon has very, look, I don't know what the word, I don't know how to say it, but she's asked me when she's up and running to do a live to join her on a live on her channel. So, which of course I've accepted. I'm very excited about it. But yes, so I'm going to coming to you soon, to you all soon. I don't know how we do it and stuff. So that I'm gonna have to leave to Sharon. But yes, I'm going to be appearing on Sharon's channel, which I'm very excited about. I'm really, really excited about. So yes, thank you, Sharon, for asking me. Wasn't sure if I should say. So yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. I think I says to Sharon, I think they'll be bored in about 3.5 seconds because of the accent. But yeah, I'm very excited. Where am I? Yes, congratulations, Kelly. Congratulations. That's really exciting that your daughter's getting married. Oh, do you know, I've been to Turkey. I'm really ready. Yes, that's it. Oh, whenever you're ready, Sharon, whenever you're ready. I know. Look at me, Warwick. Look. You see who I am? Do you see who I am now? Do you know what I'll have? I'll actually have someone here fanning me soon, so I won't have to use my notes. I'll just have someone fanning me because I'll be so famous. Oh, what was I going to say? Yes, me and Tiffany went to Turkey first, and then I went a year after that as well. Absolutely love Turkey. Oh, I hope so. Otherwise, they're going to be like, Sharon, who have you brought onto your channel and why is she here? Why is she here? But hope so. I hope, well, no, I mean, I hope not. I hope not. See, this is, yeah, I'd have to practice. I'd have to calm myself down. I get very het up, as we can see. I do get very carried away. But, yeah, so, be working on Sunday morning, unfortunately. Oh, no. Oh, so you have to, oh, Centre Parks. Nice. You've got that in the pipeline. That's exciting. Well, yeah, so like I say, on Monday. So, well, come tomorrow. I'm on my way to Tiffany's. Very excited. So, like I say, I won't be here next Tuesday and Thursday with you all, but I will be back the following Tuesday after. And I am going to try again. Warwick has given me a different story as a request. So that will be our story when I come back on the Tuesday. I haven't got a date, but it's not this Tuesday after. I'm on my phone, so I don't know the date, but yes. So a week Tuesday I'll be back. And that'll be with Warwick's live, so it'll be Warwick's turn then. And then I've got one for my brother who's been asking me for ages. I said there's a big queue, so he has to wait. But I'll do his the following week then. And then if you've got any others, I think Kelly, you've mentioned one, haven't you? So I've got one for Kelly after that. Is it the 9th of Natalie, are you here? You're so quiet. I didn't know you were here. Hi. The 9th of April. So I'm going to be back on the 9th of April with Warwick's request. So yeah, thank you all for joining me again. And it's nearly jingle time. It's nearly jingle time. Look, I'm all excited because I'm going away tomorrow. Look at this. Look at this. If you're watching tomorrow, if you'd like to join my Patreon, as Sharon did, it's I always get stuck on this. Patreon.com/ Jess Rose 5470. Thank you, Tiffany. Brain block then. Joining Kelly, do me a favour. Can you put it into the actual comments afterwards, if you don't mind? And I'll have. I did have a quick nose after you'd mentioned it, but I didn't write it down. Would you mind? I don't know if you did put it in, but can you put it into these comments? Sorry to be a pain. But yeah, so if you'd like to join my Patreon, or if not, and you're watching tomorrow, if you'd like to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. No, comment, subscribe. There's a lot more people watching tonight, so if you don't know what's going on, this is our jingle. This is what we do. This is what we do at the end of the night. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Look, comment, subscribe. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. It's getting more aggressive, isn't it? It's more aggressive now. Look, comment, subscribe. See, I'm trying not to be aggressive. I think it's because I'm speaking. Look, comment, look, comment. Oh no, I keep on having to be told about my blood pressure. So bad. My neighbour's not here again tonight, but I'm assuming she can hear me. I'm assuming she can hear me there. Let me just thank everyone who's been here. We've got Tiffany, our moderator, our peacock, Kelly, Phil, Warwick, Natalie, Charlotte. Is anyone I miss? I always miss somebody. Where's Hayley, Tiffany? I haven't seen Hayley in ages. Sharon, of course. Is that everyone? Yeah, I haven't seen Hayley in a long time. Oh, she's poorly. I think you told me that the other day, didn't you? Yes. The adrenaline dump after the shot. I think that's what it is. I think it is. I get very hyper. Hayley, you there? Hi. Hello. How you doing? You right? Have you been here all along, or have you just just joined in? Because you've only come for the jingle. You're just here for the jingle. That's all it is. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Right, okay. I am going to. Yes, so I'll be back. When did Natalie say it was now? The 9th of... Did you say the 9th of April? So I will be back with you all on the 9th of April with Warwick's story. And I will, just hope you all have a fantastic Easter. Great next week. And I will see you all very soon. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Take care. Look, comment, subscribe. Look, comment, subscribe. Take care. See you all soon. I haven't gone yet. I was about to go. The Patreon direct link. I'll have to have a look at that. I don't know. But like, comment, subscribe, guys. Happy Easter!